Minnesota fans love to adopt stuff. Like if you think about all the people that have left Minnesota and Minnesota fans continue constantly, like they constantly try to like find a way to make it about them. Like if a team wins, if a player gets an MVP, if another player gets a big contract, if somebody wins a Super Bowl like Tom Brady, that he's from Minnesota. There was a lot of that. The Minnesotans always find a way. And so the question, if Andrew Wiggins wins, does this feel more like a Timberwolves win or snub, or is Kevin Garnett more of it? I'm going to go with none of them. Like Jimmy Butler's almost win. Andrew Wiggins. If Stephon Diggs wins the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. It does not come back to Minnesota. So often that's what Minnesota fans will talk about. But this thing about Andrew Wiggins, I don't know if it was players around him, because maybe he's not a Batman. Like he was drafted first round, top pick to be super everything. Then you get Cat, then you get Levine. And for some reason, that just didn't fit. Like Levine and Wiggins are almost like the same player. And it's tough to find that. Like people can say Clay and Steph do the same thing, but they don't. Clay can move without the ball. He doesn't need to dribble. Steph creates, gets loose, does everything. Draymond Green is dirty, nasty. You add all those other little pieces in there. Gary Payton II, he's a defender. He's going to guard anybody from Al Horford all the way down to Jaylen Brown. So he's guarding everybody. Andrew Wiggins, he is not shutting down, but he keeps Jason Tatum under control. He also has a long body. And so when I say that, I always wondered, like, yes, the Timberwolves made a mistake. If they had drafted Steph Curry, then they probably could have got Wiggins, and then you have your championship. Because Steph Curry, people, but they wouldn't have. No, Steph Curry still wasn't good. Like when he first got to the Warriors, they weren't great. They weren't this like team that they are, because they still got Clay in the first round. So it still could have worked. They still could have found a way to get there. And so my point is, I think when you look at Andrew Wiggins, you look at Kevin Garnett, you look at Jimmy Butler, none of it matters. Until the Timberwolves find a way to bring it home, it doesn't matter. I don't know. What do you think, Sam?
So here's what's disappointing about Andrew Wiggins. It's that with the other three that we've alluded to, the Kevin Garnett, Kevin Love, Jimmy Butler, who've gone on to play in the finals, like Kevin Garnett was a former MVP. Wolves fans knew he was good. They loved him. They respected him for what he gave the Wolves. He didn't have a supporting cast, and they kind of reached a point where they had to trade him and get something in return. Same with Kevin Love. Kevin Love was really good, amazing rebounder, and kind of one of those early shooting big men. Before every big man had to shoot, Kevin Love was shooting. He was shooting threes, and he was good at it.
Yeah.
I think what's tough to watch for Wolves fans is that all those other guys they let go, they knew they were good. They knew that they could, be part of a title team at some point. With Andrew Wiggins, you didn't know that he really had this in him. You didn't know that he could play this well at this high of a level against this good of competition. We just hadn't seen this Wiggins. And I know that he's got so much support around him in Golden State. It's easier for him to thrive with the pressure off. But that's what stings a little, is that you wanted this Wiggins all those years in Minnesota, that bulldog who would carry teams occasionally. And he just wasn't able to be the alpha in Minnesota. And now that he's not the alpha in Golden State, he's much better suited. But to see how good he's playing for them, I think Wolves fans are probably just a little bitter that, hey, where was that for us, man?
Yeah, and he's not an alpha. He's not a beta. He's more like a Charlie or a Delta. Like that's where Wiggins is. He's a Charlie or Delta. He's that third guy out there. But in these finals, he sometimes takes over and becomes the alpha. Like I remember he was coming down the court in that fast break. He could have kicked it to Clay. Clay looked like a little bit frustrated. Like, dude, like I'm open. Give it to me. Wiggins kind of looked him off. And what happened is the defense ran to Clay. And then what happens? He gets the layup. I think that's what was missing in Minnesota is whenever Wiggins would drive, they would crash. He was dealing with bodies on top of bodies. He hadn't really gotten his grown man body yet, his strength, his frame. He didn't have people part like the Red Sea on the fast break because Steph Curry's on one side and Clay's on the other. I mean, we see it all the time now in fast breaks, which I get a little bit annoyed with. Like Steph had an easy chance for a layup and he stopped to shoot a three, which allowed them to all catch up and force them back into a set. And then they missed, came down. It became a 9-point game instead of a 13-point lead. But it didn't bite them in the butt. Like I know everybody was waiting for that moment to go back to that and say, this is the moment where Steph Curry lost this game. But no, they found a way to pull it out. They found a way to go up. But Andrew Wiggins is a huge piece of this puzzle. And if he had the game he had last night, time and time, like 3 or 4 times, he's the MVP. Like he would have stole the MVP from Steph. But now, because everybody keeps talking about the stealing of the MVP, I think it's going to be hard to take it away from Steph if they win in Boston and Andrew Wiggins gets his ring. And all Minnesota fans are going to tweet their life away about how it could have been if. And so it is what it is, but Andrew Wiggins is on his way to most likely winning. And I said that. I said if the Warriors, I picked Steph Curry. I literally had changed my mind because I thought Boston had it when they were up, but the Warriors are showing they got their championship pedigree. They know how to win tough games.